make sure what the impact will be locally, and also, so the state knows that we will put in the game, so to speak, before we actually wait situations as well. Is that the only solution? No. Will that solve the truck issues for Henry County? No. So really, this is just a drop in the bucket. We have to figure out something long term. There are only going to be more trucks coming through the county, especially with the additional traffic that's going to come out of Savannah. 80% of those trucks are going to come through Henry County. We know that right now. So even more than just local and a state, at some point the federal government may have to be contacted to say, what can you add to this equation? We are one of the fastest growing counties in the nation, not just in Georgia, in the nation. So at some point we have to make sure that our voices are heard, not just on a local level, a state level, also on a federal level, to make sure that, we get a piece of the pie, what our taxes go to. We pay taxes everywhere. We pay taxes local, taxes to the federal government. That's some point for investment.
I'm in favor of the traffic study. The trucks are going to just expand with the Port of Savannah. The other ports are not as effective. The Port of Savannah has grown substantially, and the traffic is coming. And we have to plan for it. And if it means going to 675 or 155, we have to have a plan in place for when it happens. And it will happen. So when we know something's going to happen, what's the best option? That's why you do a study, and then you put the plan together and act the plan. So the study is very good, and we'll see what the study says so we can make the best decision for the county.
Thank you. Thomas? I'll just pick up where I left off, I guess. Let's just go back to one thing for sure. The study is designed to do one thing, to give us data. Government like data, be it education, be it medical, be it chemicals. We want data, proof that something is necessary. And that's what that study will say, that if indeed that they stop this expansion at 155 in Henry County, it will overload our other roads that's around us, our regular street roads, which will cause more damage, so more people complaining, not being able to get from their homes to where they like to go. So the study helps us go back to the state and defend our answer and our request to make sure that this expansion goes all the way up to at least 675 to move that traffic out of Henry County. That was necessary, and I am very proud to say that I was one of the members that voted in favor for it. It's only $150,000, which may seem a lot, but when you talk about moving thousands and thousands of trucks and cars, it is not. And we definitely don't want to have more bottlenecking in Henry County. The other thing that I want to say about transportation is there are some other short-term things we can do. Now, I alluded to the fact that we have a transit system that you have to call now if you need it. That transit system on the call charges you like $4 and something cent. I forgot what the cents are to take you to and fro in Henry County. They will take you to your medical places that you need to go. They will take you shopping. And it's a very good transit system. It's working quite well. What we have not done is expand that transit system. And what I was saying, that to move some of the congestion that's in Henry County, we need to expand and put money into that transit system that we're working on right now. I can tell you personally, I already had some conversations and meetings about what would it cost be to expand the transit system to move more people around Henry County and to move more people directly into to some of the major train stations so they can get to their jobs. There are options here that are available. We do need to work with the state to expand some of our exits. If you notice, a lot of times the bottleneck is just trying to get off the highway. We're backed up down the highway trying to get off to exit 218 or 221 or 224. We can't get off. So one of the things we have to do is see how do we expand our exits to make sure that happens. And I will say we have a very good transportation department. They are looking at this different thing called the diamond now to move traffic. They're studying different countries to see how we can move traffic along. And I do want you to know that this this board, including me and others that are there, we're working to make sure that we do something about the transportation problem in Henry County. We're not doing as it was before, overlooking it and putting it on the back burner. It's not gonna happen on my watch, because we're gonna continue talking to make sure we do something about transportation in Henry County. And right now, we are. There is a plan, the plan is working.
Thank you. Mr. Kolpak, you have a minute to look.
The plan for sitting in traffic is definitely working. We have 70,000 residents that commute to other communities. And we can resurface 96 roads, but we need to address what we can address. We need to work with the state and push our stakeholders to build quicker. And that's by putting money to the table and putting an effort with the cities and the county to put the roads where we need them, so we give relief to our citizens.
Do I get a rebuttal on that? No? Okay, well, I'll just let it go.
We're going to move on to the next question, and I'm going to start with you, Mr. Lewis, and then we'll come to Ms. Dyer, and so we can do the opposite with the rebuttals. So the next question is education attainment and quality is key to the county's economic growth. While the county itself doesn't have a role in the education ecosystem, what role do you see commissioners in the county have in the transition from school to employment? What can be done at the county level to assist our employers in filling available jobs?
That is a great question, something we were talking about before we started tonight. Education is key. One thing I said before is that all of this stuff ties together. Even though the board commissions may not have a direct role with the school board as far as curriculum or things of that nature, I think at some point we have to start weighing in on what the school board is doing. If you look at your taxes, the board of commissioners did not raise the millage rate. However, if anybody look at their tax bill, you notice that you're paying hundreds, if not thousands, of more dollars with taxes, and most of that money is going to the school board. So at some point, you have to hold them accountable. What are they doing with that money? We need to make sure that they are providing a great education for our students. Just actually, I'll give you a personal example. My daughter, who was in 8th grade last year, she had her teacher for social studies for 3 months last year. 3 months, she did not have a teacher. She sat in the cafeteria for 3 months, and from the school told us about it. Also, they found at least 5 witnesses at school. This is middle school I'm talking about. None of those notifications ever went out to parents. The only reason I knew it was because I'm an active parent. My wife and I are active parents. We make sure we know the teachers, and we found out about these things. This is not the only school that this is happening. Anybody who's a resident in Henry County has seen what's happening in Eagles Land. They've seen what's happening at Llewellyn. They've seen what's happening at McDonald High School. We have to do more to make sure that the school board and the school system is accountable. I believe the county at some point needs to weigh in and make sure that we have our teachers at the local wage, because it makes sense for us. When you start talking about economic development, a lot of times we talk about transportation, we talk about other things. Schools play a huge part. I moved to Henry County. We moved to Henry County because of the school system. Some people I just talked to a few minutes ago, they moved to Henry County from Baltimore, Maryland, because of the school system. So we have to maintain a good school system to make sure that our county is viable. Our county needs to be safe. One of the ways to be safe is to have a good school system. I met with some of the unions 2 weeks ago with Representative El Holly, and we talked about them having apprenticeship programs for our students. So some students may not want to go to college. We want to have an avenue for them to train and be viable citizens for our county, people that are paying taxes in our county, and making sure that they add to the safety of the county. Some of the programs we want to make sure that at least 34% of those people going into the apprenticeship programs are Henry County residents and Henry County students. These are the things that the board of commissioners can do. You have to start thinking outside the box, but we also have to lean on the school board and make sure they're doing the right thing by our students. There's a lot of people in here that have kids in the school system. We need to make sure that we're doing right by them. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to Ms. Dyer and then Mr. Anglyn.
you. As for the school board is separate. They are elected and they are separate budget. They are separate. The board of commissioners, again, the collaboration between the board of commissioners and the board of education is a must. If you look at your taxes, 50% goes to the schools. There has to be to where they are held accountable because they're having meetings when most parents are on 75, 155 coming home. Half of us don't even know what's going on. We just get our bill. We had an estimate in July, and we get the next one in this month. My daughter's a single firefighter, and she doesn't have any kids in the school system. Her property taxes went up almost 50% almost. And how do we not, as board of commissioners, saying we are to govern the affairs of the county, we're responsible for the budget. How do we not, I understand clearly that the Board of Education is separate, but how do we not hold them accountable if we're stewards of the people's money? So we must come together, build relationships, collaborate. And I know you all keep hearing me saying that. That is imperative in being an effective leader. Communication. We have to have them to come on board, Dr. Davis and her team, and the Board of Commissioners, as well as the municipalities, as well as the sheriff's department, as well as the police departments. All of us come together because safety, that is essential. My platform is very simple: protecting property values and enhancing the quality of life. So if you can't protect property values, if you have economic development that is constraints, and one of those strengths is skills, right? Lack of skills. Where do you get the skills? You get the skills from having to collaborate with the school boards. And the school boards can provide vocationary, different classes and different trainings that can help with protecting their property value. Again, quality of life falls under schools, safety, security. It all goes hand in hand. Nothing can go. It's just like having, if you don't have a thumb, it's kind of hard to do things, right? So I feel like the collaboration is the thumb of the government on how you govern here in McDonough, in Henry County, in District 3 in particular. District 3 has 4 high schools, over 197 subdivisions, and growing. That's what's built right now. That's not what's coming. So we have to come to the table and demand, and I say the word demand, that we come together and owe the citizens a better definition, a better plan, and moving forward. Thank you.
Can I ask that you ask the question again? I feel like we kind of veered away from it. I just want to make sure I don't follow.
Education, attainment, and quality is key to Henry County's economic growth. While the county itself does not have a role in the education ecosystem, what role do you see commissioners and the county have in the transition from school to employment? What can be done at the county level to assist our employers in filling available jobs?
Thank you. So first, I'll say again, I'm a Henry County Warhawk, so go Warhawks. So graduated here from Henry County. According to the Development Authority, Henry County graduation rate is higher than any of our surrounding counties. That's a huge success right there. We also have a big success in the fact that our post-secondary institutions are invested here in Henry County. We have the Mercer Bears, and I say that because I'm a Bear, go Bears, Gordon University, Clayton State University, and Southern Crescent Technical College. Our focus as county leaders and commissioners, I think, is to help improve that post-secondary graduation rate. And importantly for Development Authority is to have a stronger work-ready workforce. We need to be working in partnership with the Henry County Development Authority and our post-secondary schools to provide career tracks that meet the needs of our local commercial and industrial business. I would like to see Henry County in the near future at the main campus for post-secondary education. We are one of the largest metro counties without a post-secondary campus. That would definitely be a goal on my horizon. It would help our graduation rate for post-secondary. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Dyer, you have a minute to rebut?
Yes, because the way you asked that question, you kind of gave them a little more clarity. But I will rebut the fact that economic development, the development authority here in Henry County reports to the Board of Commissioners. So if the development authority does not have a comprehensive, well thought out plan that has a short and long-term goal, then we've failed. There are partners that work with the development authority, saying, so here's the chamber does. But again, like I said, economic development, the constraints is lack of skills, lack of capital investment, and lack of infrastructure. Right now, we do have two of those things that we have a problem with. So how do you grow? So education falls under that. I don't understand how you can say you want to see a campus when we can't fix our roads right now. You want to bring more traffic until we need to go back. And I'm pretty much for, like the city of McDonough did, we need to probably have a moratorium and slow down things. Fix our roads first. Because if we have lack of infrastructure or lack of capital investment, lack of skills, our economic development will not go anywhere.
Thank you. And we will start with you, Ms. Thomas, this time for District 4.
A different question or
No,
the same question?
Same question.
Okay. If I heard you correctly, you want us to talk about filling the gap from graduation to career to employment. And want to assume then that the work being done at the high school, I'm not going to touch that. I think we do have a responsibility to make that happen. And that responsibility is to work directly with the employers that we have in this county. The county has a list of everyone who's had some type of company here. But do we have any type of plan for internships? Do we have any type of plans for apprenticeships? And we went out to make that happen. Now, certain people have, individually, and I want to give them credit for that. There are certain companies have opened their doors to make that happen. And I think we can be more aggressive about making that happen, make it more attractive, because everyone will not go to college. But we can find other ways to help them be successful and other life skills that they can use to take care of themselves and their families. One of the things that we have done, I've always tried to tell you the things I've either been part of or have done. One of the things that I have done, I have started a program called Game On, which is Government and Me Engaged. These are junior commissioners. These junior commissioners are exposed to a rapid of different jobs that are available, give them an opportunity to become decision makers and hopefully good citizens in the future. That's happening now. There is another program that I must give credit to called Leadership Henry. That group has done an excellent job in polishing some of our seniors and I think some of the underclassmen to think about the other positions that are available here in Henry County. And I have to give them credit for that. There's some churches who've done some excellent jobs in making sure that they mentor young people. So it's a collaborative effort. Now, one of the things that I have been very active in is my co-partner mentioned, I just smile. I'm in conversation with people in Henry about beefing up their medical program for nurses, but we're going to support them with some type of clinical work. We've had 3 or 4 different meetings about that. I've already had a comprehensive meeting with Golden State College president, not with the new president of Southern Tech, with the past president of Southern Tech, they teach now. We'll put together a plan, a regional plan, start looking at to see how we can attract more students to the medical field here, because District 4 is the medical and the professional hub of the county. We have had that conversation already. We've had more than one. We've had more than one meeting about making that happen. And I'm going to see that through. So I think in bridging the gap, we need to think about not just what we're doing with the school system, but what we're doing beyond the school system in this work. Because we can do some things with those career outlets. We can do things with mentoring. We can do some things about apprenticeships. We need to maximize our dollars that we contribute. And the Board of Commissioners did contribute money to Southern Crescent Technical School to help with this process. So we're not absent from the scene. We are actively involved. What I want to say is that there is opportunity to do more, but I don't want you to think the commissioners have turned their backs on that. We put seed money out there and we'll follow through on the seed money.
Thank you, Mr. Kolpak.
the Board of Commissioners and the Board of Education are separate, but they could have been together. They used to be part of planning and zoning, and I believe that the Board of Education should be back on the planning and zoning with the Board of Commissioners, so that it's a team effort. When you develop multifamily homes, it will stress the current infrastructure of schools. It is a lot quicker to build homes than it is to build a school. We've got to work with the Board of Education to make sure they know where we're coming. Right now, we have a STEM high school being built in Stockbridge that's going to address their end education. But we also got the kids that are Impact Academy that might not have done so well in high school. We've got to get to those kids, and that's where Southern Crescent, when we give them money and have the apprenticeships, because not everybody's going to go to college. You can make a good living wage as a tradesman. And we have to embrace that job and explain why it's a good paying job and what benefits and that you can do your own work at home. But as far as the Board of Education, they're doing the best they can. But when we rezone and allow things to overcrowd a school, and maybe not the school's overcrowded, but to Kevin's point, there isn't a teacher. We've got to make sure we have plans in place and get it to where we do what's best for our kids, because classroom sizes do matter. Having quality teachers matter. Quality wages matter. And you cannot stretch it too much and think it's not going to break. There's an impact by not doing what's best for the kids. So right now, as Ken Dwyer said, maybe a moratorium. What if we put our building codes out to make them a little better? And we wouldn't have so many multifamily developments. There's a reason people are coming to Henry County to do business. And it might not be for the right reasons that we need. So at that point, I will close. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Thomas, you have a rebuttal?
Yes. I want to clarify one thing about developments and things that are coming to Henry County. It's not done in a vacuum. Letters are received from the Water Authority. Whenever there's development, the Water Authority has to prove that they can supply water to that area, that utilities can go to that area. We don't do it in a vacuum. A letter is received from the Board of Education. They determine how many classrooms they may have to add because of that development to that area. They send that letter back in. A letter comes from the fire department, our police department, to determine the impact that's going to happen. So when we make developments, we're going through stormwater, we're going through the transportation department. It's not just a vote. It's a vote that has had some type of experts solidify that Henry County can support that development. I can tell you, I sent one pack in the last week. He came out of Pittsburgh, I think. He said ABC, I said ELG. He said he pulled the application. I said bye. It worked, okay? So it's not happening in a vacuum. We are working with our partners. We're working with economic development authorities to let them know what's coming, to never try to surprise the school system or anyone. It's done in collaboration.
Thank you. All right. And our last question, we'll start with you, Mr. Anglyn, again. And it is going to be about SPLOST. And the SPLOST program has benefited Henry County and its residents for decades. Quality of life, education, and transportation have all benefited. They also benefit property owners, reduced property taxes. How do you explain the benefits of SPLOST to your constituents? And also, what projects would you like to see in the future of SPLOST?
Well, thank you. So projects under SPLOST 5, one that I want to say for Henry County, I'm extremely proud to be part of the board to finally see it come to pass, which is the Henry County Aquatic Center. To start construction in 2023. It does have a $22 million budget. And if there are overruns, SPLOST 5 Collect will take care of that. And that is using SPLOST 5 funds. So that's something I'm extremely excited about. Also using the SPLOST money as well. Working with our police officers, as I mentioned earlier, we purchased 150 police interceptors with our SPLOST 5 funding. Also, roads that I mentioned earlier, especially for District 3, 35 roads, 2021, and then in 2022, 9 roads. So there's a lot of SPOS money going to work. Future SPOS money, I really do think the point of most everybody here needs to be focused on infrastructure. I agree with that. So with that being said, I'll close. Thank
Ms. Dyer?
As in Splash, having served and believing in democracy, I let the voters decide on how Splash goes, whether we have a Splash or not. That's what I really believe in. If the voters said there's a Splash, then that's the way it should go. But as for Splash major capital projects, I think there should be more capital projects. I think we should have had aquatic center a long time ago. I think we talked about the aquatic center 2.5 years ago. We first talked about it when we named after the two amazing Henry County citizens who was no longer here. We had given him a name. I remember all those things. And now we're 2023. So with that said, I think, and your statement says something about giving a burden on the taxpayers. I don't think if you talk to the average taxpayer, you look at the OLA talk pages and all the other pages, I don't think they see that burden. So therefore, I think I look at the Splash. I mean, that's the education. I know that's separate from the community, but those trailers have been behind Union Grove and OLA for at least 5-6 years now. And so with Splash, I think the Splash department I will say, in Henry County, government is very resourceful. I can ask Mr. Ramirez any question. Is very well documented, but I will leave it up to the citizens to determine what Splash. I think we had used Splash money for the Heritage Park. That was supposed to be $1 million dedicated some years ago to redo that. The money was reallocated. And they asked me, oh, you're right. What we're going to do with that big bench, those benches over there at Heritage Park? So I think there has to be some better oversight. Let the citizens decide what Splash does. Maybe we have some forums. Let the citizens say what they want to see come, and then we go from there. Because I don't think that the Splash is being used accordingly. I don't think the citizens, you can ask the average citizen, they don't feel a tax relief from the Splash.
All I'll say this is there's been a talk about us as commissioners, and I want to make sure that we take time to thank our wonderful staff that puts these plans together for us, that puts these budgets together for us. We are merely the figurehead. Our responsibility is to provide them the resources to do their job better. Whether that's our staff, our public safety, or our police officers, our job as commissioners is to make sure that they can go to work and do their job properly. And I want to thank our staff, police officers, public safety. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, Mr. Lewis.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. The SPLOST program has benefited Henry County and its residents for decades. Quality of life, education, and transportation have all benefited. They also benefit property owners with reduced property taxes. How do you explain the benefits of SPLOST to your constituents? And what projects would you like to see in future SPLOST?
That's a great question. When you talk to constituents, especially to explain the benefits of SPLOST, it's really easy to talk about. The roads that are coming, you talk about $750 million worth of road improvements. A lot of those are coming because of SPLOST. And the benefits of SPLOST that I see, and I know, we look at our tax bill like, well, we're still paying taxes. However, to get some of the improvement that we are having, if we didn't have SPLOST dollars coming, it would be a long time before we ever saw some of these improvements. And one thing that I really like for SPLOST is it's not just relegated just to Henry County citizens. Any person traveling through the county, people that work in the county, that don't live in the county, they are contributing to our tax base, and they are contributing to our quality of life. So I love to have money from other municipalities, people who don't even live here, contribute to what we do. So, it's kind of the same concept of a toll road. People may not live in your community, but they travel through it, so they pay a tax, and that's the easiest way to explain SPLOST dollars. So in the future, I would love to see SPLOST dollars continue with the road improvements, but I would also love to see them used toward parks. We have a paucity of parks in the county. We have very few areas where our seniors and our youth can actually have recreation. A lot of our seniors have to go outside of our county to have services. So SPLOST dollars in the future, I would love to see that go more towards some parks, walking trails for people to enjoy, just so that, along with roads, we don't want to put just pavement everywhere. We also should have some green space reserved as well. So I would love to see SPLOST dollars go towards that.
Mr. Kolpak?
The benefits of SPLOST. We have a SPLOST committee, we have staff, we get their recommendations, and then sometimes we don't follow the recommendations, we put our own plans in. And I'd like, if we're gonna have a SPLOST plan, to put the plan and then not reallocate the funds to something else. We had a plan, we enact the plan, we collect the money for it, and then we execute the plan with the money that we collected. One thing that the citizens have been disappointed with is some of the things that have been open-ended and they didn't get what they were promised. We have to owe it to our constituents to do what they want and when they want it and where they want it. We have a lot of gaping holes, and the SPLOST will help with that. But if it doesn't, there are other things like impact fees that we could collect. We just after 19 years raised impact fees. We've waited 6 months to a moratorium to get any election. We left about $1 million of impact fees on the table. And my concern with that is that money could be used for our citizens and for our county. And that's what we need to be doing. We do have dilapidated parks. So we need to bridge that gap. We need to take care of our young kids, the seniors. And by doing a SPLOST is what we vote on. We put it in front of people, and then once we put it in front of people, we vote on it. That's what we need to follow through with. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
First, let me say that SPLOST dollars are very defined. They have to be determined before we collect a penny what they will be spent on. When that list is compiled and put out there, we must follow that list. The only way you can get it taken off, there has to be a lot of work done to prove that that project is no longer viable, that project is no longer needed, and it just cannot be done with a single meeting. It takes a lot of discussion to happen. And that's done so that we can maintain our integrity and to maintain the confidence of our citizens that the money we are collecting from them would do as we have told them it would do. I think I'll spend my time talking about what I would like to see happen with the next set of SPLOST dollars. Everybody knows that from country to country, from town to town, most money that comes to any municipality or any country comes from tourism. And Henry County is suffering from tourism dollars. We lack those dollars. I would like to see some money put aside so we can build destination areas in Henry County. We need something here for people to come spend some time here, stay overnight here, help our hotels and what have you, so that we can have those tourism dollars available. The next thing I would like to see done, that we need some local natatoriums. I know we give an aquatic center, but we have a lot of young people that's into swimming and swimming competition. I'd like to spread some of that out to make sure that we can accommodate people on the north side, on the west side, on the east side, who may have a difficult time to get into the aquatic center. And of course, we want to make sure that we're taking care of roads and infrastructure, but make sure too that we're taking care of our senior citizens. We have an airport that needs some money, a little bit more than what we have now, to make it a first-class airport that we can receive other airplanes in. I'd like to see us take time to put money in the airport, those private jets, those big-time jets can come in, and that we can take advantage of them. We don't have a facility now. We're building something, but we don't have that Class A facility to receive that top Jay-Z jet to come in when it gets ready and have them pay us those big dollars to receive them there. So I'd like to see us take advantage of our airport money.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kolpak, any rebuttal?
On our slots money, we have T-spots for roads, but the next slots, if we do have some, we should address any shortcomings from the T-spots and previous slots 5.
All right, thank you very much. Those are the questions that we have for the evening. And since we seem to be running a little bit early, can we do 2 minutes for closing statement? And if anybody, 'cause that's kind of just thrown on me, so who wants to start, then start that.
I open, so I'll. Go ahead. No, this is not about ladies first.
Well, I would go.
Go ahead.
First of all, I just want to say thank you very much for that.
You get some rebuttals too.
Okay. Let me pick somebody to the butt. I just want to say, first of all, thank you to the Henry County Chambers for putting together this event. Henry County Chamber does a fantastic job, and they are more than just about business. They're making sure our community connects. So I just want to say thank you very much for that. I appreciate what you do for our community. Second of all, I want to let people know that, I'm a citizen just like everybody. I was speaking to a couple earlier, I call them my neighbors, because we are neighbors. We live in this county. We need to work together. It does not matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, however you name yourself. It really doesn't matter. We live in Henry County. We need to make sure that we work together to have the best county that we can live in, a safe place to live, a place that we're proud to live, a place that not only the 97-year-old can live and have a great time and feel safe, but also the smallest child. Activities that everybody can take part of. We need more community events to bring people together, not place people apart. At this point in time, there are very few events that really try to bring everybody together in the community. There are some certain niche events that people go to, but we need more stuff that brings people together. In a country that's a little aggressive at this point, I would rather come home to a place that feels like home. Henry County is a place just like where I grew up in North Carolina. This feels like home to me. So any place that I call home, I want to be a welcoming place for anybody who wants to live here. Make sure we treat people well so that when they come here and visit, they want to come back. So, my thing is I just want to make sure I work with the people who are in my community. Just like he was talking about earlier, saying figureheads. Can I use some rebuttal time? It's not necessarily a figurehead, but the county commissioner is not a person who can do it by themselves. You need to talk to the people that live in your communities. The county commissioners should actually be in their communities. They shouldn't. The biggest complaint I've seen on the trail, knocking on people's doors, they say, what, somebody, I might see them one time, but I don't see them anymore. And I can attest to that. I know some of the commissioners, so I can see them. And I know people are busy and have busy jobs, but there's nothing more that we need to do than to connect with the citizens in our districts and to make sure that their voices are heard. Everybody is busy, but part of my business will be to make sure that I connect with people where they are. Go find them at their house after they've had dinner, after they walk their dog, make sure they know what's going on in the county and that they have a voice.
Thank you. Anybody else?
You can go ahead, Sarita. You want to go first?
Again, Sarita Dyer, and I'm running for District 3 County Commissioner. I want to be the commissioner of all District 3. I want to collaborate and make sure that all the different districts, we work together, all the stakeholders, all the elected officials, all of us come together and make Henry County best. I've lived abroad. I've fought 5 combat tours. I've decided to make Henry County my home. Not Augusta, because I have sisters there, so you gotta keep that distance. But no, no, I chose Henry County. Henry County chose me because when I got here, I loved what I saw. I sat on that square almost 8 years ago, and there was hardly anything there. And my husband and I, after coming from living in Alexandria, Virginia, which is robust, I mean, just amazing place to live, the convenience, the trails, everything. But I wanted to come back here because I chose this to be my home. And so, like I said, I fought 28 years for this country, and I want to serve, and I want to continue to serve this county. So again, thank you for this opportunity, Chamber of Commerce.
The first, thank you to Henry County, my home. I have been a part of District 3 most all of my entire life. And it's funny, when I was filling out my registration forms, I had to answer that question. I've lived in District 3 almost my entire life. So thank you to District 3 for trust in me, for allowing me to serve them. It's very humbling to be able to sit here and serve those folks who've been so kind to you and my family. So I say thank you to Henry County, and I say thank you to District 3. My son goes to Ola. We have a saying there at football games whenever I go, we are Ola. We are McDonald, we are Ola, we are Kellytown, we are Henry County. I say that because we're working together to make this place better. Not just for those of us that have been here for a long time, but for those of us moving forward, my future family, my son, and hopefully many generations of my family to come, since we've been here since about 1840. So thank you to all those who live here now and who have joined us. We welcome you. Thank you.
I'd like to close with that. I'm also a ball coach. I coach at many of the parks in our county. I coach at parks outside our county. And one of the things I've seen is that our parks are, they need some work. And when I started in on this process, it was just improved parks. And then we got involved with zoning matters. And I think we could demand better from our developers. We could demand higher for our community. And I'm not going to back down. The community is a great community. I moved here in 1990, graduated in 1992 from Stockbridge High. I've seen it when there was only one restaurant in Ellenwood to grow to what it is. There's a lot of great things about Henry County, but there's a lot of things that haven't been addressed. We build new, but we don't take care or have a plan for the buildings that we already have. We've got to make it attractive for people to come and do business, and then make it attractive for the existing residents, but also, why do people choose Henry County? It's because of the way we act. When I was at Yellow Jackets Restaurant in 1990, they put a sign that said, if you want fast, go back to Chicago. Not sure how many kids came from Chicago, but I think that sign was for me. I've adapted, and I like the country. I like our area. I like a lot of the stuff. And we can still have the best of both worlds. On the Interstate 975 corridor, you should have developments. And then in the rural areas, have rural. And it can be done. And what I'm going to do is have a lot of town hall meetings with my constituents. I will find what the people want. I will show up at meetings, I will be involved. I'm going to work with the cities and the state municipalities to make sure we get what we need in Henry County, not only just for District 4, but for the whole county. I don't just stop at the lines. I go with the whole county, and I care about our county. I service every business in this county as far as a restaurant. I try them out. I like Henry County. Thank you for your time.
First, let me thank the chamber and everyone who put this event on. Thank you so much for taking the time to hear what we have to say and how we want to represent our constituents. My name is Vivian. I'm Commissioner of District 4, and I want to thank District 4 for their overwhelming support, the cause and the support they've been giving me as Commissioner and in my effort to be reelected as Commissioner of District 4. I certainly hope from hearing me tonight have earned your vote even more. I have done what I had said I would do when I initially started. Build on smart growth and development, and that's what we're doing, bringing jobs to Henry County, quality jobs. We have done that. We have Encompass Hospital open. We have 2 luxury style independent living facilities coming. We got the first 90,000 square feet of office space and medical service space on Jodico Road. We have the Publix coming in Kellytown area with wing stores on it. We have so much coming. We have the Ace Hardware. I have been able to do a lot in 3 years and 9 months, the team behind me. And I want to continue to work on behalf of the citizens of Henry County. I work relentlessly community. In fact, my nickname amongst most people is Miss Henry County because I'm there. Parents call me from their children in situations to seniors in help to the dog that's hiding up on a tree. They call them. They know I will answer their phone and try my very best to serve them to the best of my ability. And I'm asking you to continue to allow me to serve you, to complete the projects that we have to complete for this county. Henry County is a beautiful place to live. And we need decision makers to make sure that the right decisions are made about the growth that is coming, about the transportation needs that are here. We need people in place who are dedicated to this work, not just casually, but dedicated to it. And I am dedicated to the work that I have to do for this county and will continue to fight, no matter what, for the best for Henry County. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for attending tonight, and just thank you for your answers. And Joe, do you have anything before we go?
Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Going to vote.
We'll be here tomorrow.
We will be here tomorrow
State delegation.
for the state delegation.
Oh,
Big obligation.
I know this.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good to see you.